Hey, what's going on, guys? We're on to our second part of the Cosmo build. We get a little bit done with the ECU, a little bit with the fueling system, a little bit with the wiring in the car, got things to work a little more, some intercooler piping, and some other stuff. Check it out. All right, got out here, mocked up the lower intake manifold on the car. As you can see, we're gonna run into another issue here. I have a 180-degree fitting coming, but we're gonna have to cut that off so we can sweep back around and down. That's gonna smash right into that. I don't care. You're never gonna get that on and off, but I'm probably not gonna be running this water pump assembly anyways, or radiator. I've been digging into a couple different radiators. I found an AFCO racing radiator 4-row dual pass, and I'm probably just going to run an FC Turbo 2 front water pump and stuff because this is all retarded and it looks horrible. I don't need dual thermostats and stuff like that. And so it'll put the outlet over here and down here, so it'll be a lot straighter shot, and I'll probably just make hard pipes with aluminum with a couple couplers. But either way, let me get the top on so we can see what other issues we might run into, and we'll go from there. All right, here we are. Doesn't look like we're going to have any unforeseen issues here. Plenty of clearance now that all the rat's nests and all that stuff's gone. So yeah, it's basically get the wiring harness buttoned up and stuff like that, and start working on the intercooler pipes. That's not staying. I'm going to be putting an FD Gretty intercooler in, and I'll get into how we're going to mount that and stuff. And then I do have the grill and everything. Like I said, it's in the car. I'm not going to get it broke while it's out here, but just cleaning stuff up as I've got it off as well. Probably going to replace the alternator with a 200 amp FD alternator, because these like to go after so long. I mean, it's a 25-year-old alternator, and when they do decide to go, they decide to fry the electronics in these cars, so I'm going to avoid that. All right, so I get the manifold all mocked up, well, all welded up, ready to go. I'm going to go out and see how it fits. We test fitted it 5 times, so we should be good to go. All right. So, got it bolted on, test fitment. It's perfect. Everything's out of the way. Wastegate's way down, out of the way. Vacuum lines have been ran away from the downpipe. We were looking good. It's on. I had to grind a little bit of the mount down there. Yeah, you can't see it, but it's tight, but it's good. So on to the next part. So I get turbo bolted up and everything. I know I said I'm not using this turbo, which I'm not, but I am using it to at least get it started to make sure it runs and drives before I dump another $3,500 in what I want to do with the turbo setup. So first things first, get this thing running. Basically all you do is dump the downpipe on, and then next week we'll get this in the garage over at Blades. We'll get the fuel line all situated, or the fuel lines, and finish the ECU install. And this thing should be just about ready to fire. I am going to have to replace the radiator. It does have a hole in it somewhere, as I did notice antifreeze leaking on the ground, and it looks like it's right there. So that being said, we're almost about ready to fire this thing. Not much left. I could do the oil drain and put the fitting in the turbo, run vacuum lines over to the wastegate. So other than that, cleaning it up, like I said, I'm going to be swapping over the water pump to an S5, be using an AFCO radiator in this 4-row instead, and pretty much clean this all up. I don't know if the AC works yet, so we'll see where we go with the rest of the stuff. So there it is for now. So yeah, we're on hold on doing any more outside at the moment. Yeah, as you can see, we're getting hammered with another storm. Yay. So got a couple parts in. We'll see what they are, and work on some of the ECU stuff from what I have in stock to work with, and we'll get on with it, I guess, a little bit. So I got a chance to clean the car up after the storm and put the grill in and stuff. So here's a few pictures. It's starting to look a little better. It doesn't look so haggard anymore. So take a look at that too. Well, it's beautiful out today. It's like 46, so I started working on some of the wiring under the hood. Got the air temp done, working on the map sensor, which is now going to be the fuel pressure sensor. And then I'm going to do the TPS next here, and then I'm going to pull this upper intake manifold off and do the injectors, and then start making the fuel lines, and be done with this lid and have it on permanently. All right, I'll be right back. All right, so I did get a little bit done. I had to do a few other things, so I didn't get as far as I'd like to. But all the injectors are wired. We got a new pigtail for the TPS. As I said, the map, oil pressure. I'm waiting for pigtails for the coolant temp and pigtail for the fuel temp. So we're kind of on hold with that, and I'm still waiting on the fitting to go in the radium rail here, and then I'm going to get to these solenoids later. I've got them out of the harness, or not the solenoid harness, out of this harness, so then I can put the 6-way plug on the end of it, and then I can add anything I want after the fact. So yeah, we're not looking bad. I got some of the AN fittings on here. Start planning the fuel lines. Like I said, if you're gonna use this, you gotta trim that. But probably gonna come off of this one over the fuel. Normally I would 180 this down and over, and then return here. But that would probably end up being what I end up doing anyway. So that's where that is. I got the coil, I got the actual right coil in it instead of a turbo 2 coil, and the right pigtail, and got that rewired without 10 butt connectors in it. So we're looking good. If the weather's nice out tomorrow, I'll probably finish this up. So we'll see what happens. All right, well, anyways, I was gonna go inside, but put all this back on just so shit doesn't get into it anyways. But I was like, wow, I'm really missing an intercooler pipe. Fortunately, I found a piece of pipe that I just cut down and bead rolled with a bead roller, and we'll see if it's gonna fit here. I really got to get my GoPro with a mount, because this one-handed stuff just isn't working for me. All right, give me 1 second. All right, I got the intercooler pipe on. I did find an old big giant filter in the trunk, so yeah, I'm probably gonna put the blow-off valve right here, pointed that way, because don't need to hit the hood or anything. And then now that I look at this more, I'm probably gonna get a K&N and then bring this off at a 45 over here and build a cold air box in this corner like the factory one would be. And we're definitely done for the day, because it just started sleeting out of nowhere. All right, guys, I said I'd get on with this ECU wiring and stuff like that. So here it is anyways. What I did is I got a patch harness from Bonsai for an FD, and that enabled me to cut off what we don't need anymore going to the ECU, like the all the solenoids, which I went and put these weather pack connectors on. That way, if I want to add anything, which is nice with like the oil metering pump, you have all your sensor wires, 5 of them, and then underneath the hood you actually have all the sensor wires come out, and then the oil metering pump also has the 5-volt power supply for like your pressure sensors and stuff, and the ground. So that enables you to be able to put in a lot of sensors that are 5-volt and whatnot. And I did that so nothing has to be cut. I can just pin whatever wants to be pinned. Like say I want to add in drive-by wire later, I can just wire it right to that. And under the hood, as I was mentioning earlier, I was putting that 6-way connector, I can just patch it done, easy, you know, not cutting and hacking and stuff all the time. So yeah, some things I had to share with the factory ECU for the automatic transmission to work, like the crank angle sensor, coolant temp. If you don't have the coolant temp hooked up on these, the transmission won't shift because it stays in warm-up mode. A lot of people run into that issue with the hold light flashing on the dash and stuff, and it won't go into overdrive and things like that. I also added on the CAN bus, so if I want to put a digital dash in later, I can. Check engine light, so I can tell if anything's going on with this, which I just wire into a little LED. And then down to this, I'm going to the transmission computer with it. A lot of people don't do this. I mean, you can get a patch cable. It doesn't give you this option either. So I have speed, I have the transmission temperature, and tach output. The tach output is for if I decide to go over to individual, well, sequential firing with 4 coil packs, you need to give the transmission module an RPM signal so it knows where it's at. So that was the biggest error that happened when they were trying to convert this to single turbo before, is they basically just bypassed the factory ECU. Well, it's electronic transmission, you cannot do that. So you bypass it completely. The transmission doesn't know what's going on because you need your TPS and a few other minimal things in order for it to recognize that it needs to shift. RPM signal and speed and stuff like that. I did a lot of this with the help Travis on the Cosmo pages. He translated the factory service manual over to English, which then I was able to go through and I created a pinout. So the pinout substantially helped me for when I went to do the Adaptronic. So like you can see the injectors, primaries and stuff like that, and then I was able to go, all right, that's connector 4, pin J, and then my colors off of the Adaptronic, which like I said, I then spliced in. Well, either way, here's the coils. So I have the extra pin already, like I said, to make this kind of plug and play for the direct fire later. As you can see, I've got it going to the 3 coil packs right now, but when I decide to change it, I can. But biggest thing is first to get it running, shifting, and all that good stuff. So that's where we're at with this. Waiting on the module for the wideband so I can install that, and then we're going to put this in the car because I'm not putting it in and tearing it out 5 times. Gave myself plenty of lead so I can put this behind the radio in the center console and be able to put my carpet up. So other than that, we're waiting for parts again. So it'll probably be a good week or longer before I get another video up, unless I do a lot of little tedious things, but I don't know. Other than that, got some stickers too. If anybody wants any, just shoot me a message. I'll get one shipped out to you, and we'll go from there. So until next time, guys.